Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Leonard Hopkins, as stated, and I serve as the Fuel and Compliance Manager for Southern Illinois Power Cooperative. I am honored to have the privilege to appear before you today. Southern Illinois Power is a generation and transmission cooperative serving approximately 250,000 people and businesses located in the southernmost counties of Illinois. We are a not-for-profit corporation and are owned directly by our members. SIPC operates one power generation station south of Marion, Illinois, which utilizes 2 coal-fired boilers to generate power for its members. When each of these boilers was built, they were equipped with the state-of-the-art pollution control equipment that would allow them to burn Illinois bituminous coal and meet all environmental regulations. We continue to comply with such regulations today. The coal combustion residue regulation being proposed by EPA poses a serious threat to the economic survival of the cooperative for which I work. While my comments will focus on the effects EPA's decision could have on Southern Illinois Power, I believe these comments also reflect the sentiments of many of our nation's electric cooperatives. Southern Illinois Power Cooperative has been utilizing its coal combustion byproducts in beneficial ways for over 20 years. Roof shingle sand, abrasive products, mine reclamation, cement, and fertilizer blends are all examples of ways our coal combustion residues are recycled into beneficial products for society. Southern Illinois Power is concerned that placing the label of hazardous on coal combustion residue will place the same stigma on all coal combustion byproducts and effectively end the possibility of recycling such materials. In the litigious society of today, manufacturers and end users will flee from any recycled product that is remotely related to a hazardous waste. Such an action would remove these recycled products from the marketplace, and the recovery of replacement materials would require increased emissions of carbon dioxide and other pollutants. Further, small, virtually unavoidable spills of ash at power plants could be considered illegal disposal of hazardous material and could cause the plant to be in a constant state of noncompliance. Shipments to hazardous waste landfills in the country could increase tenfold, as such hazardous waste landfills might be completely filled in only 2 years. The barriers to compliance associated with such an action could conceivably drive coal-fired power generators like Southern Illinois Power out of business. Southern Illinois Power Cooperative is a small generation and transmission system and defined as a small business by the U.S. Small Business Administration. By regulation, cooperatives are not allowed to maintain large capital reserves. When the cost of running our business suddenly increases like it would under the Subtitle C option, we must go directly to our lenders. There is no cash cushion to mitigate these increases, and the cost of new loans would be shared by each co-op member owner in the form of higher electricity rates. SIPC conservatively estimates the Subtitle C option would cost its members a minimum of an additional $11 million per year, which is about 25% of our current annual fuel budget. And we serve an area of the state that has up to 15% unemployment. In cases where small businesses like SIPC are affected, EPA is obliged to pursue the least costly approach in order to mitigate impacts on facilities that can least afford them. Moreover, Congress made clear in enacting the Bevel Amendment, under which this decision is being made, that EPA should avoid the Subtitle C option if at all possible. Under the Subtitle D option, EPA can promulgate federal regulations specifically designed for CCR disposal units. These regulations would be directly enforceable by the states and the public under RCRA citizen suit provision, and violators would be subject to significant civil penalties. Excuse me. EPA would also retain its imminent and substantial endangerment authority to take action against any CCR units that pose risk to human health or the environment. The D-prime option would enable EPA to establish an environmentally protective program without crippling CCR beneficial use and imposing unnecessary costs on power plants, threatening jobs and increasing electricity costs. In conclusion, Southern Illinois Power agrees with many others who are already on record as opposing the Subtitle C approach. This list includes a bipartisan group of 165 House members and 45 U.S. Senators in the 111th Congress, virtually all the states, other federal agencies, municipal, local governments, CCR marketers and beneficial users, unions, and many other third parties who have maintained that regulating CCRs under RCRA's hazardous waste program is simply regulatory overkill and would cripple the CCR beneficial use industry. We respectfully suggest there is no reason to pursue this approach when the subtitle D prime option offers the same degree of protection without the attendant risks and burdens of subtitle C. Thank you again for the opportunity to express the views of a small cooperative regarding a proposed regulation that will have lasting effects on the lives and livelihoods of our members. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hopkins.